Hi everyone, welcome back to the gameplay of Infinitode 2. So in this gameplay, I wanted to show you my best run on level 5.7. I was able to achieve a little more than 13 million of score, and that's the 7th time on the endless leaderboard. Of course, I'm playing with endless, and right here I'm just showing you my tower stats. Really, I just got some towers level 11 on the endless research tree because I need a bit less. So these are the abilities right here that I'm using. The most common 6. So Firestorm, Windstorm, Smoke Bomb, Firestorm, Magnet, and Nuke. And here I'm gonna start going a little faster because here is just the beginning of the game, and I got a missile top right side, and then another one in the top left in the center, exploiting the damage and attack speed tiles. Then a freezing tower right there, and then yeah, getting the start placing the bounties and start going with the level. Now unfortunately right there, I messed up against a wave and I lost already like 9 lives or something like that. So that's why I placed right here cannons to destroy these normal enemies. Right here I lost again a lot of lives, yeah, definitely that was a pretty bad mistake by me. And that's why right here I upgraded the cannons after getting the second bounty, and now I'm gonna get the I also got the freezing tower level 1, and then I'm gonna get the missiles also level 1. So here I'm gonna speed up the game a little bit more. The original gameplay is more than 3 hours long. No, actually it was like 2 hours and a half long, so definitely if I want to make this video shorter, it's just an over commentary. I'm gonna definitely need to speed up, and now here I'm gonna speed up once more because this is just the beginning. So I'm just placing bounties here. I'm trying to get as little amount of upgrades as possible to be able to pop all the enemies, but then saving as much cash as possible to place bounties. That's the most important thing. And then once I finished placing all the bounties here, I started getting the miners. Very important whenever you're going with a very high score. It's essential to farm and to get the resources. The more resources you get, the higher your score will be. So here I'm just leveling up first the Scholar one because it's like the fastest resource, so the resource that is extracted the fastest, and so you can get higher scores because of that. Now here in the bottom side I placed the cannons in an X shape, and also in the top side. So I have now a total of 10 missiles and 10 cannons. I placed a couple of blast towers, more freezing towers, and that's pretty much it. And here, as I'm leveling up the miners, what I'm doing is I'm leveling up cannons, so the ones always in the center, and the missiles, just to adapt. So as enemies get stronger, I level them up a little bit. And remember also another important thing whenever you're going for high scores, trying always to have the resources, so the miners, with double attack speed, and that can be obtained when you can defeat enemy waves quite fast. And that's why as well you need to level up your towers, because I could be able to survive even by not leveling up that much my cannons or my missiles, but that would make me lose the double attack speed bonus on the miners, and that's why I'm also upgrading the offensive towers. Right here, around I think it was like wave 90, I stopped the game briefly, placed a bunch of blast towers and a couple of freezing towers in the back, and now going with auto wave call in. Now I have instant wave call in my settings, and that means that as soon as the next wave is ready, it's gonna come out. So in this way, it's better to stack more the speed on the miners, so you can have the double speed for longer. That is gonna make the gameplay a little more difficult, but in the meantime, that you're gonna be able to get more higher score. And now here I placed as well the damage and attack speed modifiers on all the cannons, and then the last one that was available on the missiles in the back. In the meantime, here I'm getting as well the Delta Core, and I just got first the 3 in the left side, so getting more damage. Now I'm getting the one in the right side to get more attack speed. I finally got it, I think. Yeah, I got attack speed there. Leveling up the cannon, both cannons in the center and both missiles to level 8. And you can see wave 139 now, and I'm defending pretty well. And so that's why I'm keeping, I'm upgrading the miners. Right here I just level up all the blast towers close to where the enemies are coming out, level 6, to have the blast towers have more range, and then having more yeah, just attacking faster, higher stun chance, and so on. Now one thing I have to say is that I'm playing this level right here with the loot token and the rarity token active. So I have 50% more of enemies like dropping loot, and also I have enemies dropping loot that is 50% more rare. So that's why you can see that I'm getting a lot of like orange or like epic, very rare, or legendary blueprints. That's the reason why. Now here you can see enemies now start stacking up a little bit, and so here I'm just getting a couple more of upgrades. I'm not really upgrading the miners right now. I'm just checking out the time because I don't want to get under that 0. I want to keep the miners with double mining speed for as much as I can. And here I'm placing some power modifiers because the missiles in the center were able to reach max level. In this case is level 20, I think it's like level 23. And so yeah, by just placing the power modifier, now I'm upgrading their overall damage, attack speed, range, and so on, and that they're not losing any experience. So far I haven't used any ability. You can see enemies are able to push forward and forward. I'm just letting them push. I'm just trying to get the miners here upgraded. Now here I'm checking out when I can use a global ability here, and yeah, that was the nuke. So resetting everything, you can see 2 million maximum DPS without using anything, just by having my towers there attacking the enemies. Yeah, keeping on getting the Delta Core. Now the damage modifiers give me 7% more damage, so that's better. Maximum DPS now 4.7 million out of nowhere. Enemies just stacking by themselves because of blast towers, because of the slow, and then was able to like get a higher maximum DPS without even like using windstorm or magnet, so that's like perfect. And here I just need to get the last 2 miners to level 5, the Tensor one, and then I think I have an inferior one on the right side, and that's gonna be it. And you can see here that the double mining speed is getting lower and lower, so that's the thing that I'm really checking more out. And once it gets super close to being 0, that's when I think I get here a Firestorm reuse, yeah. And now leveling up the very last miner. Now here checking yet again the mining speed, and in this case I think I use either a fireball or a smoke bomb. Yeah, fireball. And yeah, and now I just keep on checking the mining speed, and whenever I have too many enemies and I start losing the bonus in terms of mining speed, that's when I use an activated ability, because that is going to allow me to keep on mining faster and therefore having a higher score. I got every cannon there level 5, and I'm also starting to upgrade the missiles. Checking always out the enemies, checking out the miners, and then getting the upgrades. So here I got everything level, every cannon level 6 in the bottom side, and I also got all the missiles as well, level 6. Did I say level 5? Yeah, level 6, as you can see here. And now what I'm doing is I keep on using fireballs or smoke bombs to keep on having double mining speed. But now I'm leveling up every cannon level 10, and that is very important because I'm already trying to think about maximum DPS. So in every game where you're gonna have a high score, you need at a certain point to achieve a very high maximum DPS, and that's gonna make your abilities super strong. And after you can achieve that, then you can focus on stalling the game for as much as you can. But first you need to get that maximum DPS very high, and that's what I'm preparing here now. So I'm leveling up the cannons. I'm getting as much damage as I can from them. Delta core completed, and always checking out here the mining speed. And in this case I used 5 fireballs, and now using some smoke bombs. Always not getting lower than 3.5k cash, because in that way I can receive 70 cash from each bounty modifier. So that's all cannons level 10, and now I start leveling up missiles. So those are my offensive towers that are going to be needed for to achieve a higher maximum DPS, and that's why now I'm upgrading the cannons. Always checking out here the time, and that's I think the last smoke bomb that I used in this stage of the game, because I didn't want to really use too many abilities this early in the game, and so I decided to even if my miners were going at normal speed, I wanted to start focusing now on the holding of the balloons and trying to hold them like for longer. And so here I started upgrading blast towers. You can see one blast tower level 10, and then another one level 8. And blast towers are a key part of your strategy whenever you're trying to achieve high scores, because they're gonna delay the game. You're gonna keep on stunning the enemies, knocking them backwards, and in combination with freezing towers, and yeah, they can be very strong. And yeah, now my miners are mining at normal speed, and you can see that here now I'm waiting for the enemies to be able to push forward, so that I have a lot of enemies stacked. I can use a global ability, I can destroy them all, or I can destroy most of them, and then I can start getting all the missiles as well, level 10. So here enemies are approaching the base. I'm just waiting here the final steps and then using the nuke. Now here I let some enemies get through, because I wanted the enemies that were spawning to completely come out, so that then I could destroy more. So that's why here I lost a couple of lives. Just 3 more missiles here to max. One of them is level 8. So 12.5 million maximum DPS without using any magnet or any like windstorm any ability to increase my high score, so that was pretty nice. And here again, I let the enemies push forward, and then I use the global ability. So right here I'm gonna go even faster, because like here I'm just waiting the enemies to like get closer to my base and then use an activated ability. So here I use Firestorm right there, and you can see already that Firestorm it's already not doing a lot of damage, because enemies now have millions of HP. A single use of Firestorm is not enough to destroy all the enemies. So I use Firestorm, and then here I will need to use I think Nuke again. Yeah, here we go. Now here I have all missiles level 10, every cannon level 10, and I have all the enemies quite close to the portal. So right here is where, as you could see, I used Windstorm, and I already got 14.4 million score without even using Magnet. And here I'm just trying to see which of the two paths is gonna be better to attack to get a higher score, a higher maximum DPS. And here I think what am I doing here? I don't remember. Yeah, I think I just waited to destroy those enemies, leveling up some blast towers level 2. And here I think I'm gonna use another Windstorm, and then I'm gonna use Magnet, I think, at this stage of the game. Yes. No, actually I just used a Windstorm and then I used Magnet, and I was able to achieve a 76.3 million of maximum DPS. And now with all this cash that I'm earning, you can see that I'm just leveling up blast towers. I'm already preparing for the next stage of the game, that is trying to hold as much as possible. Of course I'm gonna need a higher maximum DPS, but I'm also exploding here using yet again Fireball and Smoke Bomb to also have my my miners mining at double speed. So that's why here I'm checking out the speed remaining, and then whenever I see it getting too close to 0, I'm using an ability. So here leveling up first the blast towers that are closer to where the enemies are coming out. So you can see all these blast towers like in the bottom side, all the ones on the extra range tile. Right here, and Fireball, here we go. Almost every blast tower in this bottom side is level 10, so and yeah, so just checking out the speed, mining speed, then using Smoke Bomb. And here I think I used Smoke Bomb and Fireball until I completely used them all, because even if it was like late game, I was trying here to wait as many waves as I could, so that the enemies will start having more and more and more HP, so that then I could get a very high maximum DPS, and then I could start the second phase of the game, just stalling out the enemies. And that's why here I'm just using Fireball and Smoke Bomb. So here I think I use it right here. I think this Smoke Bomb, I used it a little too close to the top side, so that was a pretty bad usage of it. And now at this stage of the game, the enemies that I'm really checking out are the enemies immune to the slow, because those are the only type of enemies that would be able to push and to move faster. Because yes, I can still stun them, I can knock them backwards, but because they are immune to the slow, they can, when they are not stunned, they can push forward very fast. And Also here I'm starting to stack a little bit of cash as well, because I was already thinking about using Windstorm and Magnet final time to have a very high score, maximum DPS. Here I used my last Fireball. Next I'm gonna use my last Smoke Bomb. Here we go. And so increasing, doubling the mining speed of the miners one final time, at least for now. And now here I started checking out in the left side. That was the side where most enemies were coming from with more HP. And here, yeah, using Windstorm and Magnet, but you could see that was a very failing one. And here I use Magnet again. I don't really know why. But yeah, definitely not enough enemies stacked on top of each other, and that's why the maximum DPS was that bad. So here I decided to wait, and here I waited too little. I used Windstorm and Magnet again, and I was only able to increase it to 82.6 million. And so yeah, that was yeah, again another very bad use. And here I decided to wait a lot and to wait for these normal enemies to come out. And here finally I was able to achieve 142 million score. Now I decided that that maximum DPS was enough for me to achieve my goal, that was trying to survive for as long as I could. So here I sold every single cannon. I got blast towers, upgrading everything right away level 10. I sold again here the missiles. I don't really need any more damaging tower, for the very simple reason that the enemies at this stage of the game are so have so much HP that it doesn't really matter how much damage your towers can do. They will do no damage to the enemies. And so here I'm gonna just go super fast now. I have 7 Firestorms, 7 nukes, and 5 Windstorms that I can use until my demise. So yeah, just placing a lot of blast towers. You can see every blast tower in the bottom, the first like bottom half of the screen, are all level 10, and you can see how much time it takes for the enemies to be able to push forward. Here I think I messed it up because I wanted to place more power modifiers, and so like damage in this case are useless for blast towers. I want the power modifiers, but unfortunately those blast towers that I just placed weren't quite a level maximum yet, and so if I had placed a power modifier, that would have started reducing the amount of experience of the blast towers, and I didn't want that, so that's why I decided to cap the damage modifiers instead, waiting until the blast towers were maximum level. And you can see here every single blast tower in the screen is level 10. I don't really know what else to max, and yeah, in these cases it's just about just stacking the cash really, because you cannot really use it for anything else. When the enemies were getting too close to the portal, to my base, I just used a global ability, and boom, that's it. So yeah, I can accelerate. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna just not accelerate too much, because otherwise the game, as you could see, become a little blurry. So I'm gonna keep this speed right here. And now at this stage I had so much cash that keeping the bounties also was useless, and so I sold them all and I placed more blast towers. And finally my blast towers were level max, so I placed all the power modifiers, and yeah, and now it's only about surviving for as long as possible. You could see already here the last nuke that I used wasn't able to destroy all the enemies. So already wave 460, the enemies were starting to have so much HP that I wasn't able to destroy them in one hit. But anyway, that's the strategy really. Whenever you're trying to achieve a high score, this is like the best strategy that there is. Of course, depending on how well your early game goes, you can and also depending on your research level, like if you have towers that are stronger because they have you have more damage or more attack speed, more range, or they cost less, or they can level up more, and so on, you're gonna of course be able to get higher scores because you can survive early game more. You can just focus a lot more on getting those miners, and then of course this late game, if your blast towers are a lot stronger, you can just keep on stunning the enemies for a lot more and you can just survive more. So yeah, here you can see already past wave 500, and yeah, when the enemies were too close to my base, I used Firestorm, and here I needed to start using Firestorm and Nuke at the same time to be able to destroy all the enemies. And yeah, already 11 million score. And yeah, checking out always whenever the enemies immune to freezing were coming out. And so here I decided to use Windstorm because I wanted the enemies in wave 545 to spawn, and then I used the global ability. And yeah, so now the enemies, a lot of enemies, so that's why the game at this stage like started lagging a lot, even like a normal speed. And yeah, just too many enemies at the same time. And I also used sometimes Windstorm. Here I decided to upgrade the freezing towers in the top side, also to have more range and to start dealing more to like slow more also in the top side the advance of the enemies. But yeah, that wasn't really that didn't really change a lot. So here I'm trying to survive until wave 584 yet again to destroy those enemies immune to freezing, and then here final Firestorm and Nuke. So here is just about waiting your end, and yeah, using the last couple of Windstorms to buy a little bit more of time. And right here the enemies start sneaking through, and that's it. So final score here 13,062,000. And yeah, those were my scores here. So those were all the things that I was able to get in that particular game. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. See ya, bye bye.